morning, children. How are you all? Hope you have understood the previous session which we talked about the biodiversity and the reason why it needs to be conserved. Okay, so we have taken a lot of examples of different birds and animals which are nearing extinction. We have seen the Ramagundam story, right? The dense forest, how the Tiger Valley became empty without any tigers. So now definitely there is a need of protection of our biodiversity, protection of our nature, protection of the wide variety of organisms around us. So now it becomes our duty to protect the organisms which are living in our surroundings. So today we are going to see a new topic which is called as the endangered species. Okay, so now if you have gone to a zoo and all, there you will see some notice boards. Don't throw stones at the animals, don't throw food at the animals. Okay, so these are the different signboards you can see over there, isn't it? So what does it say? Because these are the animals which are there in these zoos, okay, bird sanctuaries and all. If you harm them, they might be the last species which are living in the world, because they are the very endangered species. We are putting them in the cages, we are protecting them so that they will not get extinct. Now what is the difference between the endangered and extinct? We have learned in the last lesson. So if you want to have the information about that, you can go to the last video which I have given in the description box. So now there are two organizations we are talking about here. One is the WWF, that is World Wildlife Federation. Second one is IUWC, that is International Union for Wildlife Conservation. So these are the two organizations which are bringing out a very big red data book, okay, or you can say red list book, which contains the list of the endangered species. WWF and IUWC are the two different organizations which are known as World Wildlife Federation and International Union for Wildlife Conservation. These two organizations, institutes, they are bringing out a book named as Red Data Book or Red List Book. This book will contain n number of names of the animals which are endangered. What does that word endangered mean? It means that if you don't take proper care of these organisms will vanish from the face of earth. These organisms, they will disappear from the face of earth. You will not see them anymore. So now the responsibility lies on everybody that these animals should be protected. The government has to protect the animals. Each and every citizen of India and the other countries should protect the animals, otherwise they will become extinct. So when they are endangered, when they are in the endangered list, so that means they are telling that these are the animals which are nearing extinction. These are the animals which are near disappearance. So before they disappear, you take some measures, you take some protective measures so that you can save them, you can conserve them. So here we can see number of animals which are there in the red data book: lion, red fox, single horned rhino, vulture, spotted chital deer, loris, spider, black spider monkey, wildcat, plants like cycas, Raulfia serpentina, nepenthes, sandalwood tree. Okay, and here also there are some names of the animals here, the one which we have already read. So in the plants, orchid species, sandalwood tree, cycas, some of the medicinal plants which are such as Raulfia serpentine, etc. And coming to the animals, leopard, Indian lion, Indian wolf, red fox, red panda, tiger, wildcat, hyena, crocodile, tortoise, python, green sea turtle, etc. Peacock, great Indian bustard, pelican, great Indian horned bill, golden monkey. So lion-tailed macaque, Nilgiri langur, loris, etc. These are all the different animals and different plants. Okay, these are all the names of the different species which are endangered. That means all these animals, if they are not protected, if they are not taken care properly, all these animals are going to extinct from the earth. Just imagine the world without all these animals. Okay, the leopard, Indian lion, tortoise, python, green sea turtles, okay, golden monkeys, right? All these animals which we know, now they are going to extinct, right? There are so many animals which might have extinct by now. Okay, when we are talking like this, there are some animals which might have been extinct by now. Already in the last lesson we have studied that 27 to 28 species of animals are getting extinct every day. Around 10,000 animals per year are getting extincted. They are disappearing. Okay, so now it's our duty to save those species. Okay, so next topic we come to the next topic is the endemic species, which is called as the endemic species. So you know that there are some animals and there are some plants which are restricted to one particular area. They will be only living in one particular area, so they cannot live in the other areas. So it's very hard for them to survive in the other areas. So if some animals or the plants, if they are restricted to one particular area, those animals are called as the Australia, kangaroo is an animal which lives there, isn't it? So they are limited to only that particular area. So kangaroos have made that Australia as a habitat and they can only survive in that particular climate. So that's why they are called as the endemic species. If you come to India, we have the tiger. Tiger is the endemic species of India. So like this, if you take the New Zealand, the bird kiwi, it is the endemic species over there. So there are several different endemic species which are there and they are limited only to that particular country, only to that particular area. Even in India also, if you take the Western Ghats, there are some amphibians, okay, there are some amphibians and there are some lizards. I mean around 62% of the world's amphibians and 50% of the world lizards live in our Western Ghats and they are endemic species of that particular area. They only live in that particular area. So till now we are all using the different terms, isn't it? We have used the extinct, we have used the endangered, we have used the endemic. So now after some days we may not talk about these words because most of the animals will be extinct if you don't take care of these animals. Okay, let me tell you an example. So a person called as Buffalo Bill, he used to kill several buffaloes only for the sake of tongue. There used to be a pile and heap of buffaloes. He used to sit on a train, running train, and used to kill the buffaloes and used to collect the tongues of those buffaloes. Only for the sake of buffalo tongues, buffaloes' tongues and all, they used to kill the buffaloes. So when the train passes by that, people used to close the windows and close their noses because they could not bear the smell, a bad smell which comes in that particular area. So those animals have almost become extinct. And now there is another person who hunts the whales in the oceans. So this man, in a year, he hunts some hundreds and hundreds of whales and kills them. Okay, and when people ask, why are you doing this? So now in the near future, we'll not have the whales. So the answer, what he says is that I'm not bothered about tomorrow. I only want what is today. I'm only bothered about today. I'm not at all bothered about tomorrow. So, and he calls that as harvest. Okay, as we do the crop harvest now, like he calls it as a harvest. So that is how several animals are being killed. Several animals, and there are some roads where surveys are being taken. Every day some thousands and thousands of animals dies in the road accidents. We might, when you are going on a highway, you might have seen dogs lying on the road dead, which are hit by the vehicles, isn't it? And you might have seen several animals, okay, several insects which are touching your cars, isn't it? And several birds getting touched to your hit because of your vehicles and all, they die on the spot. So several animals every day they die, and every day several animals become endangered, several become extinct. Okay, so now it's our duty to preserve all these animals, right? So that is what we have to do. Children, we know that different habitats are in the nature. Each and every animal has their own habitat, isn't it? That is the place where animal is habituated to live. The place where the plant is habituated to live is their own habitat. So there are several habitats, isn't it? Sometimes there will be calamities, natural calamities, like you can say there will be earthquakes, there will be cyclones, there will be heavy rains, stormy winds. Okay, so tsunamis, right? Even though all these occur, again, these all will wipe out the plants, they will wipe out the animals and whatnot. What are the habitats are there, they'll be wiped out. But within no time, once all these calamities stop, again the new habitats will be seen over there, and animals will come and start living there, plants will start growing over there. So that is how the natural calamities will come and go, and again the new animals will come and start staying there. Now you can see another word which is called as the invasion, invading the others areas. In the olden times, kings used to invade the other countries and they used to capture their countries, isn't it? Their states, their towns, their cities, okay, their kingdoms. So in the same way, different kinds of plants grow. Okay, now for example, if you take an eggplant, it is living in a particular area, and now then a Y plant comes from some other place, and then their seeds or something will fall there, and they will start growing in such a way that the X plant will be completely suppressed and it will not grow anymore. They will die, and only these kind of plants which has come out, which are Y, they will start growing in that. There will be a sudden invasion of organisms, like you can take them as plants or insects or microbes or human beings. They will invade the other areas and they will increase the number. They will interact with each other and they will form new habitats in those areas, and they will increase in their number, and till the habitat will completely comes into their control, okay, into their own balanced way. So that is how animals or plants, they will invade the other places. So this kind of invasion style, like you can see an example for that, invasive alien species, that is IAS. So if you see in the picture, you can see here, when alien species which are non-native species which doesn't belong to that particular area, when non-alien species, that is non-native species which doesn't belong to that particular area, what they will do is they will come to that area. Already there will be some natural habitats where some other animals will be living, and they will come there and they will interact with that habitat, and within no time new species will start there, and the new environment becomes like the complete environment becomes invasive and goes into the control of the new organisms, and because of them there will be a great impact for the food, for the security, for the plants and animal health, human health, everything will be a problem. You can take the example of a Spanish flag plant, that is hyacinth. Most of the lakes now, these water hyacinth plants grow and they will suppress the growth of the native plants. If you take the example of the Hyderabad city, there it was a place where crows were very good in number, but now pigeons have come from the different places, and now these pigeons, they have increased their number in such a way that crows number has completely suppressed. So that the whole Hyderabad is completely invaded by a new species of pigeons. Now wherever you go, you can find the pigeons, but not the crows. Crows were high in number, but these invasive alien species, they have come here to Hyderabad and they have completely suppressed the growth or the number of the crows. So diversity is not only seen in the wild plants and animals. There's also great diversity in the rice plants. Even if you see in the plants and all, especially rice plants, there are some 50,000 varieties of rice plants which we grow every year. And there are now, what we know is, we only know maximum 12 or dozen of them. But 50,000 varieties of rice plants are grown in our India itself, in the world itself. So, but now hardly 20 species are more than enough to feed the world's population. So mostly we all know that only 20 or maybe a dozen to 20 species, that is what we know. So apart from that, 50,000 rice species are grown to feed the human beings. So that is a wide variety of plants, only especially if you only take the rice. I'm not talking about the other plants and all, only rice I'm talking about. So now what is the importance of biodiversity and its conservation? Why we have to conserve the nature? Now just imagine there are some insects, right? So what do you think of the use of these insects? For example, if you take the honeybee or the butterfly, what is the use of them? Honeybee gives us honey, and butterfly sucks the nectar, and they are very colorful. Is that the reason? No. What these organisms are doing, they go and collect the nectar from the different plants. They go and sit on the different flowers, isn't it? So they get attracted by the colors of the flowers and they go and sit on them. And you know what they're doing? When they sit on them, the pollen grains which are in that particular flower will get attached or will get sticked to the legs of the honeybees and the butterflies, and they go and sit on the other flower. That is how they carry the pollen grains of one plant to the other plant, and they are helping in the cross pollination so that new species of plants will come out. So just assume that if there are no insects, all insects died and all, then there will be no process called as pollination. Only because of this pollination, especially the cross pollination, we are able to see the new varieties of plants. Okay, so these insects, even though they are very small, they are helping in a very important process which is called as the pollination. So it's not like that we have left these flora and fauna aside. Flora, plants, and fauna, animals. So the flora and fauna are our responsibility, so we are protecting them. If you take the forest and all, we have stopped the hunting. We kept the boards in the forest that hunting is completely prohibited in this area. We should not hunt the wild animals. So what are the wild animals which are left over there? They should not be hunted, and there will be a very good imprisonment of the persons who will kill the animals, who will hunt the animals, isn't it? And also we have made some of the forests as a reserved forest, so that nobody should enter into the forest without the permissions. And some of the places we have made into bird sanctuaries, some of them we have made into animal sanctuaries where the animals will stay, and we are maintaining the zoo parks. Okay, so all these are the animals where we are protecting the animals, we are saving the animals, and we are protecting them so that they will not get endangered. So these are all the measures which Government of India is taking to conserve the wildlife. So national parks or sanctuaries, okay, bird sanctuaries, national parks, all these are the places where, and the reserve forests, these are all the places where animals are being protected. These are the measures which are taken by the government. Okay, so today we come to the end of this particular topic, and tomorrow we will see the Project Tiger and also the national parks and the sanctuaries which are in the different parts of our India. Until then, take care, have a great day, see you all.